I'm going to talk about something that hasn't been mentioned yet, which is about homelessness, especially in Leicester. I moved to Leicester about 2 years ago to university here, and I'm absolutely shocked how many homeless people are in doorways and stuff. And I was just wondering what your thoughts are and how we can help the situation, because especially in this cold winter, it's been horrific for people out there.
Homelessness, I mean, I think there's so much behind this, but one of the things we passed a policy at Green Party Conference, I think it was either the last one or the one before, was something that talks about, something's come out of America called Home First. And one of the things that people who are in most acute situations of homelessness, often they're told, oh, you have a drug and alcohol problem, or you have a mental health problem, we can't provide you with housing. You have to sort your other problems out first while sleeping on the streets. So dealing with some of the most acute problems, the Home First approach that simply says we'll find you somewhere to live and then we'll help you sort your other problems out is really critically important. On the broader point that more and more people who are finding themselves homeless, aren't perhaps from the traditional groups of people who have been homeless. Almost anyone can find themselves homeless. Caroline Russell, again, just because I happened to see her on Twitter about this, councillor in Islington, she was desperately trying to find a home for a guy who simply was renting in a private tenancy, wasn't in arrears in his rent or anything, but in the classic way of these things, the landlord just said, want you out, out you go. He didn't have a deposit, he couldn't find anywhere else to go, and he was basically walking around the streets of London trailing a suitcase, desperately trying to find a bed for the night. And of course one of the things about, you think about what happens to people when that situation, is all of his saucepans, his tin opener, quite a lot of his clothes, he'd lost practically everything. All he had left was what he could carry in that one suitcase. And that's how people's lives are just torn apart by our whole system of housing. So the broader answer is, we need to actually provide social housing, genuinely affordable housing for people who can live in it. And behind that is a real change, a fundamental change we need to make, which is we need to stop treating homes primarily as financial assets and go back to treating them as places to live, so everyone has a secure, affordable roof over their head. And that should be the aim, not to see, how much profit we can make out of homes. And the rise of the private landlord and the profits that private landlords have made. I talked about right to buy, and at least a third of the homes gone under right to buy have now in the hands of private landlords, most of whom have a large number of homes. And what we're seeing is that what was our council housing stock, that used to be rented at genuinely affordable rents, is now on the private rental market at hugely inflated values, and people can't afford to live in them anymore.